think it's important that you hear this from my perspective. It might not make sense, and I don't completely understand what happened either. I just don't know what she would say about this, and that terrifies me. Earlier today, I returned home from a business trip. There was a conference in Chicago, and with the snow, I just couldn't get out of the city, so I was a day late. She knew that could happen. She had to have seen the weather reports, right? She was always the kind of person to fret over these kinds of things, so I can't imagine that she didn't spend all of yesterday checking the weather every hour. I tried to call. I really did. I called home and no one answered. It didn't even ring. I thought I had the wrong number, so I called again. I think I called about 10 times, but nothing changed. When I got back home, I was worried. I was really worried. So I ran inside. I banged the door into the wall. I think there was a dent in the wall where the handle would have been, and I didn't think I opened it that hard, but there was the dent in the wall. This startled her. I thought, at least. She turned around, speechless, and just stared at me. She was wearing a light blue dress down to her knees and a white apron over that. I said, "Oh, thank God, I tried to reach you." I walked a step towards her, but she took a step back and her face snapped to attention. "I was busy," she said quickly. "I must have missed the call." She walked back over to the counter, turning her back from me. She stood over the cutting board. It took me a second to notice, but she began crying. "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" "I'm really sorry, dear. I know you just got home." She stood straight and turned around, looking at me with a blank expression, but mascara running down her face. She smiled. I'm not feeling very well. Could you make dinner while I go run a bath? I just need to wash up." And I didn't let her finish. Yeah, I know what I did next wasn't fair. I shouldn't have yelled at her. I shouldn't have yelled at all, but my nerves were frayed. It just seemed so crazy to me that I should be asked to cook. I hadn't even walked in more than 10 minutes ago, and she didn't even want to give me some time to rest, so I yelled. "Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Let me take a single moment to rest before you expect me to fix the house." I was worried sick about you, and I couldn't even get a hold of you. And now I come back, I was anxious, and I rushed in here, and as soon as I could, and I find that nothing is wrong. And you're just standing here, and now you want me to cook. She didn't respond how I thought she would. Normally she'd yell back. She would tell me that I was being stupid. She would tell me how I fucked up. She would talk about how I should have found another way to get hold of her, that she was just as anxious as me. But she just stood there. And that smile returned to her face again, and she said, "You're right, dear. I'm sorry. I'll cook." I should have paid more attention then. I mean, I was completely taken aback. I stood still for a second, but when I relaxed, I was happy that she could see reason. So I walked back towards the front door, towards the stairs. "Thank you," I said. "I'm going upstairs to wash off. I'll be down in a bit." Before I left the room, I saw her grab the knife from the cutting board. She just let it hang to her side and stood there motionless. She didn't go get something to cut. She just stood, looking away. And I thought nothing of it. I began to climb the stairs when she started to move. She stood at the base of the stairs and called up, "Honey, maybe wash up after dinner." I ignored her and kept climbing up the stairs. "I think that would be for the best." I opened the door to the bathroom and stopped. The tub was full of red-tinted water, some of which spilled over, making long red streaks along the side of the tub. And in the water, up to its neck, was a body. It's hard to describe the body because I still have trouble understanding it. It looked like me. It had my same nose, my sunken eyes, the curls in my hair, the gap between my front two teeth, even the scar I had under my ear. It was even wearing my suit. But the body was bloated and sallow. I threw up. I fell to my knees and I threw up. When I could find the energy, I stood up and turned around to call down to my wife, but she was standing at the top of the stairs, the knife gripped firmly in her hand. "I said to wash up later." She said it with such a serene voice. No malice, no anger. The same way she would have said she loved me. I tried to run past her, but she blocked my path downstairs, so I pivoted and I ran to the left towards the guest room. I moved quicker than her and could lock the door, but I realised that she got me. A clean but deep cut. I'm recording this so you know what happened. You need to know what happened, regardless of what she says.